Hey guys, welcome back for another Vlogmas video. We are finally filming the Q&A, and I have been so excited to do this because I don't think I've ever done a Q&A on my channel. Honestly, I just felt like I share a lot in my vlogs or just in general. I feel like I share a lot, but there are so many new people now on our channel. We've grown a little bit this year, and so this is like the perfect time during Vlogmas to sit down and just share with you all, answer your questions. So I did ask in the community post if people had questions, and I pulled from videos things that people had asked me, and I'm actually doing two parts. So this is going to be part one here on this channel, and this is more personable, just about me, my life, my child, etc. And then part two will be on my other channel, and that's just more like content creator-ish things, like the camera I'm using and like how I do my thumbnails and different things like that. So if you're interested in part two, I will link it down below and you can head on over to that video and check that out. Okay, so like I said, I have never done a Q&A before, and I was a little nervous because I am still a very small channel, a baby channel. We are growing over here, but people do ask me questions, but I'm just now starting to get like a lot of questions and comments on my videos. You have some fun questions that I would like to answer, and then just share things about me that people might not know. And then if you have more questions, just put them in the comments down below, and maybe in the new year we will do some more questions and answers. Try to answer questions and make this really quick. So hi, my name is Nichole, for those who don't know. I am a deaf education and a special education teacher. I have been teaching for 7 years. I've been in education for 9 years. And I have a degree in American Sign Language interpreting and dance. So backstory is I am called a forever student because there were so many things I just wanted to study. I always knew I wanted to do something with sign language, but when I originally went to school, I stayed close to home. I wanted to go to Houston. My mom's like, that is way too far. So I stayed close to home and just majored in something else that I was interested in, which was a double major in psychology and sociology. While I was in school there, I started taking classes at the community college for sign language again because it was my foreign language in high school, and I was like, I've got to keep up with this. That program fell through, and so after graduating, I moved back home, did 2 years of my master's, got my master's, and finally found a program in Houston at the University of Houston, go Cougs, that offered a bachelor's in American Sign Language interpreting. And at the time, that was literally the only one. Everything else was a 2-year, and you got like a certificate. And I wanted the degree, I wanted the full experience. So I moved to Houston for 4 years, and I did the program. I double majored in interpreting and dance. And the last semester, I could not finish Ballet 4. And I was like, I have to graduate, I have to get a job. Like at this point, I'm too old to still be in school, but I was about to turn 26 and I had real bills. I had like 26-year-old bills, not like 18-year-old bills. And so I decided to bump that down to a minor, even though I was just missing one class. So I graduated with a minor in dance and a major in American Sign Language interpreting. I moved back home and I interpreted for 2 years, and then I became a teacher, and I've been doing that ever since. So one of the questions was like how I got into that, and so that is how I got into it. I fell into teaching because the position became open, and I've always had a passion for teaching. My mom's a teacher. She's been a teacher for 25 years. And I just knew like this is something I could do. As the interpreter, you kind of end up having to teach because of the language barrier, and the kids kind of look to you even though you're teaching them, like, no, look to the teacher. And I was like, I could do this. Like, I enjoy this. I tutored math in college, and so math is my jam. And so, yeah, I actually want to do like higher education one day and maybe be a math professor. That's big dreams, big goals for the future. But yeah, so that is how I got into teaching, got into sign language and dance. And then the dance came about. So I've always loved signing. As a kid, I always read it to people who were deaf. And I was like, God, I wish I could communicate. One lady taught me at the Boys and Girls Club how to communicate with her son. So that's where I really first started learning sign language. But dance has always been my passion. I think I came out of the womb dancing. When I was little, my mom said I would watch Janet Jackson's videos and like copy all her moves and just dance all the time. And I actually, when I was like 10, 11, I started praise dancing at church, and I created my own dance team called Expressions of Praise. And I had that dance team going for years. We had about 20 to 25 kids at times that was in our dance group, and we danced all over until I left for college, and then it kind of like died down because I wasn't there. So they kept it up. I would go home on the weekends, but once you get older, things fall off. So the real reason I decided to major in dance in college is because I had no formal training in dance. I taught myself. I was self-taught. I did cheerleading and gymnastics, but I did not do any kind of ballet or modern dance growing up. And I was just really wanting to learn and get the technical side of it so that I could bring it into the church, because if you're a church kid, you know, if you're on the dance team, like, you don't get formal training in church, you just dance. And I wanted to bring that. I have a goal of opening my own studio one day and merging modern and ballet with liturgical dance and teaching kids the technical side of dance along with the spiritual side. So that is why I majored in dance at U of H, and I decided 2 birds, 1 stone, and I enjoyed it. I was on the pre-professional dance company there, and it was a great experience. I absolutely loved being in Houston. I love the arts. And one day I want to move back. I want to move back so bad. But hurricanes has been taking out. I don't want to be down there with the water. But yeah, so next question. So this question had like a lot of parts to it. This is from Katie. I love seeing her pop up because she just gives me so much encouragement on my little channel. And whenever I see her comments popped up, I'm like, Katie's commented. We got to go read it. So I answered the first part of her question. The next part said, did you always know you wanted to foster and adopt? What age were you when you started that process? And looking back, do you wish you would have waited, or was it all what you expected, or better or worse? So fostering. So my mom, I tell people this all the time, my mom was an unofficial foster parent. I grew up as an only child, but my home was never empty. My mom always had someone's kid. My mom was always inviting kids over. Fun fact, when we moved to Texas, she met a young lady and we actually helped raise 5 kids. So there was always kids around. Like I tell people I grew up as a single kid, but I have 5 siblings. Like I have so many siblings all over because I have god siblings and people my mom just adopted into the family. And they know my whole family. They call my aunt and uncle. Like it's just what we do. And while being in the school system, you see a lot of kids like displaced and things happening. And so, not to overshare, but I had an experience where a student who was deaf went into foster care, and I quickly realized that there are very, very few of us who know another language that can communicate with a child that comes into the home knowing another language, whether it be Spanish, whether it be sign language, whatever, you know. And so this area that we live in, we know we have deaf and hard of hearing people. We know we have a lot of Spanish speaking kids. Side note, one of my goals is to learn Spanish. The kids try to teach me all the time because I'm in a predominantly Hispanic school. And I have deaf students who are also Spanish speakers. And so, yeah, that's another language I want to learn. Back to this. So I looked into the process and I said, you know what? I want to become a foster parent because I have a skill set and I can bring a deaf child in my home if they were to go into care. I know how to get them resources. I know the language. And so I felt like I could make a child a little bit more comfortable in this very uncomfortable, strange kind of situation that they would be put in. And so I started the process when I was about, I want to say 29, 30. So I was about 30 when I started the process. And honestly, I don't wish I would have waited. I kind of wish I would have started sooner, just because I feel like I've been single for a long time. I have been single for all of my 30s and most of my 20s. And when I say single, I mean I have not been in a serious relationship. I've dated, of course, talked to guys, but I have not been in a serious committed relationship since I was in my early 20s. And so I've had a lot of time and love to give a child, and I wish I would have known about it and started a little bit earlier. But, you know, looking back, you say you wish you would have done it, but I've also got to travel and do a lot too. So I don't know, I guess 30 was like the perfect age because it is really a commitment. You do not have a lot of free time. You are that child's everything, just like a parent, except for you're supporting the family as well. So you're having to do visits, you're having to make sure the child gets therapy sessions, and sometimes all the things they maybe never got, like shots, and getting them into school and getting them into maybe ECI services, early childhood services, because of delays. And so I think 30 was a good age to start that, because I did not realize going into it how much work it is to be a foster parent, along with all the training. So anyways, I started the process in about 2019, 2020, right before COVID. And I stopped because I went to the first meeting and I looked around and I was like, I'm the only single parent here. Like, what was I thinking? Like, I don't want to be a single foster parent. I can't, like, they don't want me. And so the lady reached out and was like, you know, we're just wondering if you still want to do it. The training classes are about to start. And because I had already started the process, and I told her, I was like, I don't think y'all want me. I'm a single parent. And she's like, no, it doesn't matter. Like, we want people who are willing and have space in their homes and room in their heart for a child. And so finally in 2020, I got licensed, and I actually accepted my first placement during COVID. And that was probably the most stressful thing I've ever done, because I was constantly worried about people getting sick, and, you know, we still had to do the visits. And so we go into office, and all coming from different homes and different environments, my nerves were shot. And I actually ended up getting my second child during that time as well. And so worried about them getting sick and just all the things, my nerves, because they came from 2 different homes. And of course, we're doing 2 different visits. And I was like, oh my gosh. So yeah, no, I feel like I did the perfect age, and I wanted to do it because it's something we've always done. And I just wanted to open up my home. That is my way of giving back and doing ministry right now. Of course, I do ministry in church, but I believe that there is so much to be done outside of the church. And I'm bringing awareness to the church by what I'm doing, because I'm the only person in our church that has done or is doing foster care. And so people are always asking me questions. Even with adoption, people are always asking me questions. So I like that I can help in that way. That was a long-winded answer to that question. And foster care is nothing that I expected, but everything I expected, and it is so hard. But that's a topic for another video. So if you would like me to talk more about foster care, just let me know, because I can talk about that all day. So the next question is, what are some things you enjoy doing that involve hustle and grinding? Involve hustle and grinding is YouTube. I don't really do anything as far as hustle and grinding anymore. YouTube and affiliate marketing, what I'm doing here, are my hustles and grinds now. Outside of hustle and grinds, I love movies. I love watching movies and like different TV shows. I really get into shows that are really complex, and like for example, This Is Us. This Is Us. The complexity of that show, when it went off, my whole heart. I don't really like reality TV, but yeah, movies and like comedies and dramas, I like that. I'm really a movie fanatic, TV fanatic. I love just lounging and watching a good show, drinking a cup of coffee. I love to travel. Like, that is our thing. We like going to different places. I'm trying to get over my nervousness of going like overseas or out of the country. Anywhere that has to take me longer than 5 hours on a plane, I am not up for right now. But yeah, those are the things I like to do. I used to dance. I would love to get back to dancing. And honestly, I like doing things for people, hosting, doing parties. Like, you'll see me do parties for my son here on my channel, and it is absolutely draining, but I absolutely love it. It's so much fun. So yeah, that is what I do. And just spend time with my family. 9 times out of 10, I'm with my family. What type of exercise is my favorite? No exercise. One of my goals for 2024 was to exercise regularly, and I fell off bad, y'all. Like, I would exercise. I got my Stairmaster put together. I tried, and I was like, I don't want to do this. I fell off bad. I do like riding bikes. We did that a lot during COVID. And I got my set of bikes, so hopefully we can start doing that. Let's see. Dance. I love doing dance. Like, if I could do Zumba, that's my jam. And actually, I did end up doing CrossFit for a while, and I actually enjoyed CrossFit. I need somebody to tell me what to do, when to do it, how to do it. That's how I exercise, because if I have to do it on my own, it's not gonna happen. So my exercise time too was in the morning, and that's the other reason why I fell off, is because instead of waking up in the morning and doing exercise and devotion and all of that, I ended up doing my schoolwork in the morning. And then right now during Vlogmas, I ended up doing like editing a vlog early in the morning. So I'm ready to get back on it. I'm waiting for Vlogmas to be over so I can get back into my routine, because I still wake up at 4:45 on the dot. Like my eyes are up and I'm like, well, we're up. But then I'm not exercising. I'm like at my computer. So I need to get more active for sure. The next question is, are you scared to foster a second child when you now have 2 YouTube channels to maintain? And the answer is yes. And it's not just because of my YouTube channel. I'm scared to foster another child because, one, I know it's going to be a lot of work. I'm still very much a single parent, even though I have an incredible village. And when I say incredible, incredible. They literally had to pry my sons out of my hands because I would not let him leave my sight. I would FaceTime and call them all the time and be like, send me pictures, send me pictures. And now they're like, let go, we got this. And they'll just come and get him. They do things for him to make me take a break, and I love them for that. But I know if I had a second child, that's just double the work. And so I'm really, really nervous. And the second reason is because I don't want older children or children close to my son's age, because he did not do well when I brought in a child that was his age, very close to his age. They were like a year apart. They didn't blend very well. He does not do well with kids his age. I've noticed, I've watched him play, and I probably should let him have someone his age around so that he can learn how to play better. And it's not even that. He's been in daycare all his life. He's in school now with other children. He just, I don't know. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. And older kids, he loves older kids. He just doesn't like kids his age. He gravitates to kids who are like 5 years older than him. And babies, he loves babies. So I know if I said yes to a baby, it would be okay with him, but I would be completely worn out again and starting over, which I would not mind that, but I don't know. I definitely wouldn't be able to maintain 2 YouTube channels, and definitely would not be able to maintain 4 videos a week. I'm barely hanging on by a thread right now. But yeah, so if I were to foster another child, I would probably drop down to 1 video a week on each channel. And then it would really probably be more of my business channel that I would post on more, because my vlogs include my child when I feel like it or when he feels like it. And I don't mind showing him. He actually like wants to be on the camera, and when he doesn't, I let him do his own thing. But I don't mind showing my child, because like I show him on my Facebook, I show him on Instagram, my family watches my channel, so they get to see him when they aren't around him all the time. But I cannot show a foster child on my channel, so that would limit my ability to vlog and do that. But I mean, I've done it before, but the kids were older and could hold their own, or they were in school and I would do my own thing. But yeah, so those were the 2 reasons why I'm nervous. The third reason is, as much as I am enjoying singleness, I do realize that bringing in another child limits my ability to really start getting back out there and exploring dating. And I had talked about it a while, like wanting to get back into the dating scene. And I've kind of like pushed it to the back burner because my son, he is my first priority. And I was just like, you know what, maybe singleness is just my calling. And now as I'm getting older, I'm like, no, I don't want that for me. Like, I want somebody to grow old with. And so bringing in another foster child, that is a lot of work. I cannot travel as much because I have to make sure I'm making sure they get to their visits and whatever they have to do with their family, and you don't want to pull them away from their family. And I also don't like leaving kids behind when like we go somewhere. So my first foster child, she went everywhere with us, but if it was her visit time, I would have to leave her behind so that she could do her visit. And she felt like she was missing out with us. And I hate to pull kids between like, oh no, I want to do this with them, but I want to go visit my mom. You know what I mean? So that's the other reason, because it would start to limit me. And if the child became available for adoption, if the parents' rights were terminated, or if this was a child that came to my home that would be needing to be adopted, I 100% would probably adopt them. And so that would be me, a single parent with 2 kids. And while I know there's a man out there for me who would not mind taking me with my 1 or 2 kids, realistically, I don't want to make that a thing, you know what I mean? Like, I know I have one, but more than one, that's work, right? So anyways, I know God has a plan for me. I know there's someone out there who probably wouldn't care if I had like 10 kids. So yeah, that I am afraid to bring in another child, but it's not just because of my channels, because my channels are not my source of income. It is my form of self-care, my form of expression and creativity. So if I had to take a step back because we welcomed in another child, I'd be 100% okay with that. So yeah, those were the questions that were on the post for the Q&A. And then some other questions I get are mostly about like, one question that was just randomly in the video that I would like to answer, and I kind of touched on this already, is would I put Cole in more videos? And yes and no. I don't mind him being in videos. I don't mind him being in my vlogs. Most of the time when we're together, our home is very loud. He's on his drums. When y'all see him, it's the clips of him being like calm, and he's doing, he's watching his iPad, or like he'll find dance movies on his iPad and start dancing around. And like, that's the quiet side of him. But most of the time when we're together and he's around, he like wants my undivided attention. We're playing, I'm in his band apparently. Like he has a drum set and he has his little baby keyboard and he gives me the flute and all the things. And we have band rehearsal and it's quite loud. And then sometimes I'm just enjoying him so much, I really forget to turn the camera on a lot of the times. Like this morning, we made breakfast. He wanted to help me make his sausage. And in my mind, I was like, oh, this is a cute moment. I could vlog it. And I just kept doing what we were doing. I'm very bad about picking up the camera. And because it's just me and him and there's no one else around, there's no one else to like remember for me. So I don't mind putting him in more videos. I don't mind like showing him. Sometimes I worry if I show him too much, but what I think about is the family that doesn't get to see him often gets to see him. I post him on my Facebook, so I feel like it's the same thing. And yeah, so I'm not forcing him to be on the camera, but y'all comment down below. Sometimes I worry like about putting him on camera, but he's on my Facebook, he's on my Instagram, and I feel like that's kind of the same thing. Not really, but so that's why I don't show him that much. Like I worry about showing him too much sometimes, but yeah, sometimes he's just really loud and doing his own thing and we forget, and I don't know. We just enjoy our time together. He's very silly. Some people, like, it's crazy because my mom says this all the time, like she doesn't think I could have birthed a child more like me. I ask people all the time, do you believe in nature versus like nature or nurture? Like which one takes over? And I swear that kid is me when I was younger and I just don't know how. But yeah, we just have lots of fun together. So I'll try to remember to turn the camera on more when he's here. But honestly, when I'm filming is on Sundays when he's not here and I'm like boom, 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 boom. And so yeah, try to remember to post it more. And then another question, I think this is Katie asked, what was my dream job? My dream job. I have so many things. Like I'm seriously a jack of all trades. My dream job would be to be able to be my own boss so that I could open up my dance studio, open up a center for children who are foster children. And I can get more into that because like it's a specific kind of center. And then to be an interpreter for the theater. I don't want to do concerts and that kind of music, but for theater, musicals and things like that. Like that is my true passion. I want to be able to do those three things. I want to be a business owner and there's so many businesses I want to do. But yeah, if I could say what my dream job would be, it would be to do everything. I love teaching. I love teaching my students. And there are some days where I'm like, God, I can't do this anymore. But I absolutely could not imagine doing anything else besides the other things I want to do. I need more hours in the day. Okay, so this was the question I was looking for because I knew it was asked and it's gonna be the last question. The question was like, and this kind of came on both channels, like how am I managing 2 channels? I'm a single parent, I'm a teacher. I thrive off of having a lot to do. I am always tired, but I'm more tired when I'm not doing anything. And so I can go to bed about 10:30, 11 o'clock. And like I said, I can pop up at 4:45, 5 o'clock. And I'm like, all right, let's get the day going. I have trained my body, I guess, to not need that much sleep. My grandmother is the exact same way. My mom is too. Like if we get too much sleep, we're tired and we're just used to being on the go. And if it's something I'm enjoying, I don't mind not getting a lot of rest to do it. But again, my village, my mom knows that like I want to grow these platforms. She doesn't know like all the ins and outs. She just knows like, oh, you want to make a video? Okay, I'll watch them. And so she's very helpful, but she's actually with me a lot of the times. I just don't show her because we live in the same city. We're 20 minutes apart. We've always been together, just her and I. And so she's over here a lot because like I'll cook dinner, she'll come over and they're in the back playing and I'm like, well, let me knock out this editing. Like, you know what I mean? Or I'll be in the hall playing with them, but I'll have my laptop and I'll be editing a little when she decides to go give him a bath. Or I have a lot of help, even though I'm very much a single parent. Like, let's be clear. I'm alone a lot, but I'm also not alone a lot, if that makes sense. Sometimes she's over here and she's just chilling and she plays with him and gets him all excited and then dips out. And so I have to deal with calming him down and getting ready for bed. But yeah. Anyways, so she's actually on her way here. So I need to wrap this. So yeah, I hope y'all got to know me a little bit better. I actually have fun doing these questions. So y'all comment some more questions down below, things you want to know. I feel like the only thing that's like kind of off limits that I don't really get to talk about is like the details of my work and foster care things. Like I can't get into like specific cases and things like that. But yeah, pretty much besides that, I'm an open book. I don't think I told y'all how old I am. And so since I didn't tell you how old I am, I want you all to guess in the comments how old I am. Some of you might know because I've like talked about it. So if you've seen some of my other videos, you might already know. But comment down below. And make sure you all check out part 2 if you are interested in getting to know me on like the YouTube content creator side and like how I do different things. So yeah, see you all in the next one. Bye guys.